Hello, judges. I'm John Evans, weeknight anchor here at WECT TV, to tell you a little bit about my entry for Anchor of the Year. The first segment you're going to see includes clips from a newscast that had breaking news. It also includes on-air content from a podcast I host and produce here in the newsroom. The second segment, part of our continuous coverage during Hurricane Isaias, a hit I did right here in our digital studio. And the third segment, a special report I produced along with the anchor intro. I hope you find this worthy of naming me Division II News Anchor of the Year. And we are actually following a pair of breaking news stories at this hour. A massive fire has torn through a condo complex in Carolina Beach, and another U.S. Capitol Police officer has died after an attack. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. And we're going to begin in Carolina Beach, where we have live team coverage from WECT's Kendall McGee and Zach Solon. Now, they have talked with town leaders about the damage done by the fire and with some neighbors and residents who escaped the flames and the smoke. But we're going to start with Kendall, the first on the scene this afternoon, and just listen to the mayor and the fire chief talk about the damage. Now, Kendall, they said some people had to jump from their balconies to escape from the fire and the flames?
.com.
And the fire breaking out on a gusty, windy day didn't help the firefighting efforts at all today either, Kendall. Thanks so much. Neighbors seen running to safety at some points today. Lanita sent us this video through See It, Snap It, Send It, appearing to show a woman holding a child running to escape the flames and the smoke. And our team coverage continuing now with WECT's Zach Solon. Now, Zach, you talked with some of the residents of the complex and some neighbors. What did they have to say to you? They are long odds. Less than 1% of all high school seniors who play football are drafted into the National Football League. Alex Highsmith defied those odds coming out of Ashley High School. Did not even get a college scholarship right away. He walked on at UNC Charlotte before getting one. But he outworked most of the other players, became an All-American, and ended up getting drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers. He played in all 16 of the team's games during his rookie year. And Alex is my guest on the new episode of the One-on-One with John Evans podcast. He told me not being highly recruited actually made him more determined to succeed.
Not being recruited, helped me to really gain that walk-on mentality as soon as I got to college. Being a walk-on, that's something that I feel like I'm going to carry on for the rest of my life, and all that I do, just the work ethic that I have. And so I'm thankful that I took that path that I took, because it helped me to become the player and the man that I am today.
The One-on-One with John Evans podcast, a free download on all of the major podcast apps. On the backside of this storm, the tornado threat is almost non-existent. And that's what we dealt with in the first 3 or 4 hours of covering this, were the tornado warnings that were popping up in special parts of New Hanover County and in Brunswick County. I do have an update. I just dialed up. I'm going to take it 1 second here, Fran, if you'll pardon me for 1 second.
Sure.
This is the Duke Energy outage map in New Hanover County. We've got 3,000 people in the south of the Monkey Junction area, 5,000 people without power here. I've been getting some messages and texts from friends that they don't have power in their area along South College Road, but you're seeing here, again, this is the Monkey Junction area, Piner Road going over to Masonboro, but look at this. This is 16,000 people basically from, say, south of Monkey Junction down toward Carolina Beach, and you're going down here on Pleasure Island, 13,000 people without power here. This is almost the entire area of Pleasure Island right now, Fran, according to the Duke Energy outage map, are out of power. It happened 1 year ago today. A community laid a fallen soldier to rest. Army Specialist Antonio Moore had died in a rollover crash on his first deployment in Syria. Days earlier, crowds gathered in the streets, on the sidewalks, waving American flags of all sizes as a procession carried Antonio's casket from the airport to the funeral home. Tonight, for the first time, we hear from Antonio's parents on just how much that support from strangers meant to a grieving family.
I never thought that he would be coming home now, you know, because he was just so, he was happy when he was getting ready to be deployed. He was telling everybody, he was knocking on neighbors' doors that's actually served. He was going, he was like, I'm going for my country, I'm going.
On a cold, gray February day, Army Specialist Antonio Moore came home, making that final trip 8 days after losing his life in a rollover crash in Syria, 3 months after giving his mom a final hug on the eve of his first deployment.
We embraced, and I told him that I loved him, I was proud of him. And he was like, Mom, stand tall, it's okay.
Crystal Vereen tried to stand tall, but the emotions poured out in grief over losing her son. She would soon, though, feel the warmth of an entire community's support. A procession escorted the casket to the funeral home. Riding in a bus behind the hearse,
See this right here? See this right? Antonio, do you see this right here?
Tony's family would come upon streets lined with strangers.
Thank you, guys.
Parting a sea of waving American flags.
Gosh, it was just lines of people, from old to young, from babies being in cabbages waving flags, from other military veterans, you know, saluting. Actually, I had to stop crying at that point. And we all just sat there quiet, just looking out, and through the tears, I had to smile and say, wow. We all kept saying, wow.
This is so overwhelming.
I just wanted to stop, just to want to hug everybody. It was like, thank you, even though you didn't know him, you're here, you know, you welcoming him home.
You made the whole city stand still.
The crowds and flags grew larger as the procession wound its way past Tony's alma mater, Hoggard High School. On this day, all races and ages came together as one community to honor a life lost in service to country.
He brought this town together.
I didn't even know him.
And it's wasn't us. They came to rally around us, but they were there for him. And that speaks to who he was.
Under sunny skies 3 days later, strangers again lined the streets as Specialist Antonio Moore went to his final resting place.
Fire! Ready! Aim! Fire! Present! Mark!
Tony, you are a real hero. Thank you for your service. We always gonna keep these, and we always gonna smile about it.
The support has not stopped in the years since Tony's death. Posters and messages have come in from young ones, keepsakes and mementos from fellow veterans. Tony is never far away.
Just knowing that he had it on. And that's his name. He'll never get a chance to wear it again, but we got it. We got it.
Crystal and Will say the days have not gotten any easier. They've just learned to live with the loss. They are fortified with the strength they received from strangers who showed up on a cold, gray afternoon, and they are searching for ways to thank each and every one of them.
They will never know how much it helped a mom, a dad, grandparents, into one of the worst days we ever experienced in our life. They will never know how much it meant. And I just keep leading back to just thank you. Thank you for helping this family just rise up. To make it feel like we wasn't alone. It made me feel like we all was in this together.